Hey everybody, this is Troy, Roadside RC. Welcome back to another video. What we're going to be doing today is looking at how did different bearings impact how well and how easy our wheels spin. Like, is there really a difference? We see all this kind of stuff, and I've done it for years as I've been working on like the X-Max or crawlers or bashers or something like that. I get a good rubber sealed bearing that I can find and I can purchase easily, and I throw it in the truck or in the vehicle, and I never worry about it ever again. Is that right? Is that the right thing to do? I don't know. But in a recent video, you did see where we installed these absolutely awesome Rev D knuckles on my drift car. And we did it specifically because the right front wheel did not spin as easily and as freely as the left front. And so I assumed it was the axle bent or something with the hub. So we did the upgrade in order to improve that. It does. It works well, and they spin much more evenly now, so this is a good thing. That was good. But we had rigged up a handy-dandy little test in order to try to prove out and to try to repeatedly roll them, because that turns out is not very repeatable. Not very repeatable. And using the test, the new hubs and the new bearings that I put in there didn't roll nearly as long as the ones that had been in there before. So my theory is it's the bearings, or a lot of the feedback I got on the previous video, the grease in those bearings. So here's what we're going to do today. The ones that were in here that I purchased were straight from Amazon, some just steel shielded regular bearings, nothing special about them. And I took them out of the box and I put them in. So we're going to look at what happens as they sit now. Now they've been run a little bit, what happens with them. What happens if we clean those and then re-oil them? But then also, I got a hold of Jim's bearings, somebody that I go to a lot for bearings that I need for my vehicles. And I got a set of 4 ceramic, a set of 4 stainless, and a set of 4 just rubber shielded basic bearings. So you kind of step up in price and you step up in theory, rolling as you do these. And so that is what we're going to test today. Can we see a difference out of the box, just how these are? Do we notice any difference in how easily and freely it rolls? If we clean them and if we lube them, do we notice any difference? How does that go? That's what we're testing today, so follow along for more. All right, Amazon metal shielded bearings that are now like a week or so old. 1, 2, 3, go. $11.5. All right, so I just took those Amazon metal shielded bearings out of the drift car, putting mineral spirits in the little container that the bearings came in, shaking them around, trying to make sure that they get as clean as possible. And then what I'm going to do, these are metal shielded, so I shouldn't have to do anything in order to clean them because they just have the metal shields on there. So this mineral spirits is going through there, eating up all that grease, dissolving it. I'm going to then let this sit for a little while, dry them off. And then from Yeah Racing, we have high-speed bearing oil. This and the bearings that I had with this kit, I bought a whole Yeah Racing bearing kit for the MST RMX. That's actually what I had in there before I did the hub swap. And this is what ended up spinning 20 to 30 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see, does this make a difference? All right, these next bearings going in, these are the rubber shielded bearings from Jim's Bearing. He lists these as his basic bearing general use application. Three, two, one, go. Oh my gosh, 4.5 seconds. Super duper slow. All right. 1, 2, 3, go. Huh, 4.8. So again, roughly the same location. Basic bearing. Maybe the basic bearing really is just basic. So I believe, if I remember correctly from Jim's website, these are stainless steel ball bearings with the rubber shields. So does it make a difference versus the rubber? 1, 2, 3, go. 7.6. First test for the ceramic bearing. 1, 2, 3, go. 6.4. Interesting. All right, so what we've noticed so far, this is rather interesting. So these old bearings that I had in the old hubs, I mean, I would get, using this exact same test method, 18 to 30 seconds when spin time. So I had variation side to side, but I had a pretty big number. These Amazon metal shielded bearings, again, out of the box, had actually only been at like 6 or 7, 8 seconds. But now that I've driven the car a bunch, now we're in the 10 and 11 second range. So that's interesting. But then when we get these out of the box from Jim's bearings, the rubber out of the box only in the 4 to 5 second range. I tested it 3 times, only 4 to 5 seconds. Wow, such a difference, right? Jump to the stainless ones, and we basically doubled or more than doubled the time. We went from 4 to 5 seconds to, we had a 7, but then we had an 11 and a 12. So significantly better. What surprised me here is these ceramics. So the ceramics out of the box, 6 and 7 seconds. So really actually kind of between the rubber and the stainless did just as well. So I'm really wondering 2 things. Almost every time, the more I spun it, the faster it got. So what kind of grease, what kind of oil is in these out of the box? How long have they been sitting? Is all that grease piled up in one spot? And the more that wheel spins, the more it frees up and lubes and makes everything more even. I mean, we're seeing that with these metal shielded bearings that I got off of Amazon, and I'm seeing that as it steps through with each one of these. I think there might be something to it. So these bearings, these are the Amazon metal shielded now that have been sitting over here in these mineral spirits. You can see the color is actually a little cloudy where some of the oils come out. It's time to give these a test. Okay, this is the Amazon bearing set, Amazon metal shielded, just cleaned. So I have not re-lubed it or anything. I took it out of the oil, dried it off, got all the excess mineral spirits and everything off of it. And let's see if it's made a difference. 1, 2, 3, go. Dang, folks, I think we have a winner. I think we figured out what it is. Oh my gosh. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. That was 46 seconds. 46 seconds. And so that's going from 10 and 11 seconds to 46 just by cleaning it with some mineral spirits. Now that's pretty crazy. Now we just did a thing right there. These are these bearings that we just took out of the car after doing over 40 seconds. So we're now going to take this high-speed bearing oil from Yeah Racing, and we are going to work that into these bearings. And I am guessing that over time, having a bearing without any oil in it, probably bad for it. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, this isn't looking as good. All right, 27 seconds. So significantly down from when we just cleaned them and they were 46 seconds. I'm kind of feeling that oil's a good thing, right? Like that over time, there's going to need oil in there. And that 27 seconds is still drastically better than anything that we were getting before, 10, 11, 6 that we were getting without having cleaned them, without having this bearing oil in them. So now let's check out some of these rubber, some of the stainless, some of the ceramic, and see what we can do to those. Stainless bearing now cleaned and oiled. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh man. 1, 2, 3, go. Whoa, 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 what is this? 1.6 seconds. Ah, dang it. All right, so I think I know what has happened here. So in order to clean and lube these appropriately, I took the rubber seals out of them. Super thin little rubber seals. Well, what happens if you don't get the little rubber seals back in there right? They're gonna drag, it's gonna cause extra friction. I didn't have to do that with those metal sealed ones because they actually have a groove around them. The oil and everything can come in and out. So I'm guessing I didn't get those rubber seals in there right. These are the rubber shielded bearings from Jim's Bearings. These have now been cleaned and lubed, reassembled, and here we're gonna test them. 1, 2, 3, go. .1 seconds. Much better. These are the ceramic bearings that have now been cleaned and lubed. 1, 2, 3, go. .8. All right, so I found this to actually be really interesting because I never thought this much about the bearings that I put in my RC cars before, and this has taught me a lot. So I want to go through with you a little bit the detailed results here so I can kind of show you what I've learned. So I created this handy dandy chart, and I really hope we can actually see it on the screen. The Amazon metal bearings, when they were out of the box, 7 to 11 seconds. When I cleaned them, only cleaned them just to get rid of that grease that was in there, 40 to 47 seconds, a massive time jump. And it turns out the fastest time that we have, period. But that's because they had no grease, no lube in them, no nothing. When I put after they've been cleaned, when I put the lube in them, the high-speed bearing lube from Yeah Racing, it dropped it from that 40 down to 27, 28 seconds. Still really good. Still a whole lot better than what I was getting before, especially out of the box. So Jim's bearings, the rubber bearings themselves, straight out of the box, 4 to 5 seconds. When we clean them, lube them, we get down to 16 to 17 seconds. So still massive jump versus when we started. The stainless bearings started at 7 to 12 seconds. Initially, 1.6 seconds. This is one of the biggest learnings that I had from this whole thing. You've got to get those rubber seals in the side of the bearings. You have got to get them in there the right way. So I was racking my brain as to why I got all the way to 1.6 seconds. So what I did is I took the seals out of both sides of the bearings, ran them again, 18 to 21. So what happened there is when I put that rubber seal back in, I put that rubber seal back in a little bit wrong, and it was dragging on the bearing. So that's very, very important. But we were able to make a big difference here. And then the ceramic, which are known to be the best ones that you can get, out of the box, 6 to 7 seconds. So better than the rubber, but actually we're in the same ballpark, a little bit slower than the stainless out of the box. Once I cleaned them, once we lubed them, we got into the 32-second range. And then because I decided I was going to put these in the vehicle, I went ahead and did the other side. Cleaned them, lubed them. First test, 6 seconds. What? Doesn't make any dang sense, right? Took the bearing apart, and what had happened? I got the rubber seal in there wrong. So the rubber seal has a little bit of a metal insert in it. I had bent the whole thing. What was it doing? It was dragging. Pulled it out, flattened it out, stuck it back in. 35 seconds. Look at how big of a difference, 29-second difference, just based on how that rubber seal is in there. Such a huge impact to this. So really, at the end of the day, these are the ones that I currently have in the vehicle, run 32, 35 seconds. The other thing, I showed this right here for a reason. Across every single one of these, I can show you, here's two examples from out of the box. This is the raw data over here. So the rubber shielded ones out of the box, 4.5, 4.8, 5.2 seconds. Every time I tested it, it got faster. Stainless out of the box, 7.6, 11, 12. As I tested it, it got faster. So what does this mean? You have no idea the condition of the bearings that you're buying when you're getting them in the box in your hand, right? This isn't against Jim's bearings. This isn't anything. This is any bearing that you buy. Who knows how long it was sitting on the shelf? Who knows how long it was, what temperatures it was in while it was being shipped to you? Who knows? So is all of the grease and everything in that bearing, did it get hot and all the grease ran to one side of the bearing? You have to roll it a little bit. You have to get it to spread around in there. Like, you can't just slap these things in and think they're good. I've never done this before, ever. In all of the stuff that I've done RC, have I cleaned and lubed bearings before? No, I'm just bashing and, running with the X-Max. When a bearing breaks, you take it out and put a new one in, done. For my bashing stuff, am I going to do that? Am I going to keep doing that? Yeah, I'm going to keep doing that. But for something that really matters, like on these drift cars, maybe when I go back racing, doing that kind of stuff, I think I'm going to get my mineral spirits. I think I'm going to clean those bearings. I think I'm going to put some nice lube in them, test them, make sure that everything runs smoothly before I put them back in. It really, really does make a difference. So I learned a lot. I hope this was valuable for you guys also. Please let me know down in the comments, which one of these bearings would you run, right? Ceramics really, really rolled well, but they're also not known for being super durable. And if you guys know, I've driven this at a skate park before, which means probably ceramics aren't my best choice. I'm throwing them in there for now to try it out. But as it turns out, I have a whole stockpile of bearings now for this, so I can always change them back out later. But which ones would you run? Which one? Would you do the metal shielded, the rubber, the stainless, or the ceramic? Which would you choose? Let me know down below in the comments. Really appreciate the feedback. But hey, I also appreciate you watching this video. Why don't you come over here, check out some of the other ones that we have going on, whether it's some drift, whether it's some drift tuning, and we will catch you at the next video. Please stay tuned, and thank you for watching.